Brett Kessler's our next speaker. He's practicing aesthetic, functional, and reconstructive dentistry since 1995. He speaks widely and published on various subjects, including cosmetic dentistry, leadership, and well-being issues. He's past president of the Colorado Dental Association and currently serves as the American Dental Association's 14th District trustee. So he's a muckety-muck as well. All right, Brett, it's all yours. That's all right. Put in your...
Oh, here we are. I am a general dentist from Denver, Colorado, as was mentioned in my introduction. I'm also an amateur endurance athlete. And 3 years ago to the day, I crossed the finish line at the Hawaii Ironman. A very highly improbable feat for someone like me, for any human being, actually. Less than 0.1% of the population has ever done an Ironman, and about 100 times less than that has ever done the Hawaii Ironman at the World Championships. It's improbable for me for many reasons, not just physical, but I am also a recovering alcoholic and drug addict. And I view my life as an adventure because I feel I'm living on extended time. I remember distinctly my very first drink and my first smoking of marijuana. I was 13 years old. I went to a girl's house that I had a crush on. I drank a beer, I smoked a joint, and I kissed a girl all within 10 minutes of each other. And I never, ever forgot that feeling. And I spent the rest of my drinking and using career trying to recapture that feeling with different drugs, different amounts, different ingestion mechanisms. And I hit my first bottom in 1997, where I convinced my boss, who I practiced in Michigan at the time. We drove to Chicago for a dental meeting. I brought my staff with me, and I called an old dealer friend of mine, and I disappeared for the entire meeting. Up to this point, I knew I had a problem. I knew I had a problem for many years, but I never had consequences, so I never thought it was a problem. Denial is a big part of addiction, and it's the most difficult thing to overcome because of the denial. And so I was starting to suffer consequences. My boss wasn't too happy. My team that worked for me wasn't too happy either. And so I decided to go to treatment. But before I went to treatment, I remember a lecture in my general practice residency where they brought in an addiction medicine physician to talk about addiction in the medical field. And at the time, I knew I was pretty messed up, and I thought for some reason that this might be an intervention on me. But the addiction medicine physician talked about addiction hits people in healthcare usually in their late 50s or 60s. It presents as liver problems or hypertension or kidney failure. And I was in my 20s. I had none of that. I was a triathlete at the time. And so I didn't check any of those boxes. Therefore, again, I did not have a problem. And when I would do triathlons in the 90s when I first started, I would sober up for 30 days before the race. And as I crossed the finish line, I would put my hands up and say, you know, drug addicts can't do triathlons, therefore I'm not a drug addict. The denial permeated all throughout my life. But here I am, at this lecture with the addiction medicine, she said that there were well-being programs that every state had that helps doctors and dentists and nurses and pharmacists get help with dignity. And so I called the American Dental Association, and they directed me to a man in Michigan who had been there. And when I told him my story, he told me, I need to go to treatment. I need to go tomorrow. Otherwise, he's going to report me to the board. I looked at the phone. I said, I'm sorry, wrong number. And I hung up. This was before cell phones, by the way, so there was no caller ID. But I sought help. I went to treatment. And up till now, my life, I had accomplished lots in life. And I figured if I could just dive into a subject matter or trouble and figure everything I can about it, I would overcome it, because that's how I've gotten to the level that I've gotten to at this life. And so that was my MO. I went to treatment, and I was a very good student of the treatment center. And I learned what the people who were graduating, I learned what they would say. I'd mimic what they would say, and just modeled after the successful people. And, and so I, went through it. It was about 6 weeks long. About halfway through, there was the relapse prevention class, where there was rumbling among the ranks of us that 2 or 3 of the 50 of us in treatment at that time were going to stay sober for a year. I rose my hand and I said, I was pretty mad, because why am I spending all this money if it only successful for 4 to 6%? And knowing full well I was going to be one of those 2 or 3 people for sure, because I'm me and I'm smart and I overcome things and I love the challenge. And the rehab professional, came back and said, well, this is going to be a daily thing for you for the rest of your life. And I'm like, what do you mean? Well, you're going to have to do some things to change your thinking, your thought process. Your brain is not right. You cannot fix your broken brain with your broken brain. But your brain is plastic. Your brain is moldable. You can create new pathways to overcome the primary addiction pathway. And that'll involve a lot of work on a daily basis, such as prayer, meditation, recovery meetings, finding ways to enlarge my spirit. And I'm like, okay, I could do that. I don't know about the meditation. I don't know about these recovery meetings, but yeah, I'll give it a whirl. And so when I graduated, I was hot on, I was going to be one of those 2 or 3 people, but somewhere along the line, a few months later, I made that decision that because now I've been to rehab and I know all these things, that I can go back to my old ways. And I was back to my old ways, and I thought I could control it, but I couldn't. And for many years, whenever I put a substance in my body, a phenomenon of craving would kick in, and I was off to the races. And I thought I would be cured because I spent time and effort trying to get better, and I was smart, and I'd always achieve things when I did these things. And it kicked my butt. My bottom came 14 months later at the expense of my best friend's mother, who passed away. I again went to Chicago for her funeral, and I made it to the wake. Between the wake and the funeral, I called that same dealer, and I disappeared, and I never made it. My wife, and everybody knew. My friends thought I was staying with my family. My family thought I was staying with my friends, and I went on a 2-day cocaine and alcohol binge to end all binges. And I crawled back to Michigan, where I lived, and my wife knew, and she told me that she had made an appointment for the 3 of us to go talk to my counselor at the rehab on Monday. Don't you know, Gina, my wife, by doing this, they're gonna send me away for 6 months, and I'm gonna lose my license, and I'm never gonna be able to practice again, and we're not gonna be able to make it. She's like, I don't care, you go figure it out. And she left me for the weekend to go home. She wasn't very happy, obviously. But I knew, deep down that there were things that I didn't try. Those suggestions of, daily mindset setting, going to meetings with other people who had suffered addiction and now are in recovery, who can mentor me, finding ways to enlarge my spirit. I knew if I would try those things that, these people seem to do pretty well. Maybe I can do the same thing. So I started modeling after them, and I showed back up at these meetings. I showed back up in a daily meditation, and gosh, my life started to feel so much better, and I never had to drink again. As I moved on in my recovery, about a year later, we had a baby and moved to Colorado. A few weeks after that. And I started a practice a few years after that. Every day I would do the same things that were successful for my recovery, and my life got better every single day. At some recovery functions that I would attend, I saw a lot of people with missing teeth who found out that I was a dentist and asked if I can help. They talked about the pain they were in. They talked about that they couldn't really get a job when they're looking like this. The scars of their addiction were still on their face. And so I started helping out a treatment center in downtown Denver that served the homeless population. They took these people off the streets and gave them, tools for recovery. They gave them vocational training. They gave them medical care, and I gave them dental care, and I got to restore their smiles in a big way. And, restoring someone's smiles, they're sober for many months, but the scars of their addiction are on their face. And when they got to smile again for the first time, you can feel their soul come out through their smile. And it was a feel-good moment for all of us, and I craved that. I'm wired to feel good in with the least amount of effort, and that was easy. And it grew, and it became a great project for us. Other treatment centers in Denver started calling us, asking if we can provide for them too. And I had to make a living, and I couldn't give away all my dentistry for free. So I called the Dental Society in Denver and asked them, did they know any dentists that did this kind of work? They said, no, but it's a great story. Can we write an article about it? I said, sure. But I'm looking to create an opportunity for other dentists to help. I don't want this to be all about me. They're like, okay, no problem. So they wrote the story, and 2 or 3 dentists came out of the woodwork and started working with these other treatment centers. And more got help as a result of me sharing my story and my work. And I started to put some things together that, when I become vulnerable, it allows other people the permission to become vulnerable, and they get to share their stories too. And it just started growing. A few years later, methamphetamines became the drug of choice in the society, and it became a national news story. There was a major movement in the East Coast. There was a major movement on the West Coast, and the media stories started trickling towards the middle, which is where Denver is. And they called the Dental Society and asked them if they knew anybody that knew anything about this meth mouth phenomenon. And of course, they sent them to me. And I said, of course, I've been treating this for years. Would you like to go on TV and talk about it? Initial reaction, absolutely not. I don't want to be known as meth mouth dentist at all. I was trying to build a practice, and I wanted to be veneer guy, not meth mouth guy. But I decided to do it, but only if they would focus on the patients and how their lives had changed from homeless, living on the street, to gainfully employed with a big smile. And they agreed to do that, and 2 patients couldn't wait to tell their story, and it became a beautiful, beautiful news piece. And 4 or 5 other news stations in Colorado also wanted to do a similar story, so we did that. One of those stories got picked up by CNN, and it went national. And it played on headline news for a weekend. Every 19 minutes after the hour, there's Dr. Brett Kessler talking about teeth and meth mouth. And I was like, this is really cool. I loved it. The American Dental Association caught wind of that story. And I got a call one day, and they asked me to come to Washington, D.C. to advocate for a bill they were trying to promote that would fund more treatment for methamphetamine addiction. And the dentistry side especially. And so I got up there in an open forum before Congress, and I talked about, the devastation. I showed them the horrible pictures, and they didn't like the bill, but I did say if there was only a limited amount of money and you had to pay for treatment of dentistry or treatment of the addiction, please spend the money to treat the addiction, because it's hard to do dentistry on dead people. It doesn't work. And, and so we didn't get the bill passed. But one of the congressional aides said, Dr. Kessler, you don't look like a drug addict. I don't believe you're a drug addict. And at the time, I was probably 10 years sober. And I said, well, it's because I'm white, I'm middle class, and as a result of that, I was afforded the opportunity to go to treatment and get help. About 10% of people who suffer from addiction are ever afforded the opportunity to get treatment. Imagine that number if it were for breast cancer, okay, which is a disease of good standing, where addiction is a disease of shame and humiliation. With recovery, I had to find a way to shift all that shame and humiliation to humility and confidence. I was very sick. My brain wasn't right. And through the recovery and through the daily tools that I talked about, I was able to shift that for that humiliation to humility. And my definition of humility is a firm understanding of who I am and a full willingness to be the best I can be. And on a daily basis, I still do that. I went to, when I came back from Washington, the Colorado Dental Association saw that I had potential to be a leader, and they threw me through the leadership track, and I became president in 2014. And then now I'm on the board of trustees for the ADA, which is highly improbable too. I still do my races, and I got to do the Hawaii Ironman in 2018, and I did it as a charity. It's the World Championship, so you can't really get in if you don't qualify unless you do a backdoor as a charity. And I had been a triathlon coach for many years with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and we raised millions of dollars for the cause. And through those research dollars that we raised, we were a researcher in Seattle created a drug called Gleevec, and that Gleevec was a revolutionary drug to treat chronic myelogenous leukemia. At this point, I had no cancer history in my family whatsoever, but soon after Gleevec was introduced and FDA approved, my mom came down with chronic myelogenous leukemia, and she got to use Gleevec as it extended her life for about 6 years. When she passed away in 2017, the Leukemia Society, who I did all this work for, asked if I wanted to do something in her honor and raise money for more research so that others may not suffer. And I said, yeah, I'd love to. And they offered me the slot in the Ironman World Championships. As I went through that day, I spent a lot of time in gratitude, thinking about how far my life had come. Back in 1998, back in 1997, when I hit my first bottom, 1998, when I finally got sober, I was contemplating, should I live? Should I not live? This is too hard. I'm so full of shame. And here I am, on the world stage, getting to, check a box of a lifelong goal that I never, ever thought would be possible. On that day, I spent a lot of time alone, a lot of time in my head, and I got to think about a lot of things. 2 days before the race, my wife gave me a packet of letters from friends and family wishing me well. And in those letters, I got to see how I impacted them, how I impacted the world, how I impacted people that I had no idea I ever impacted. And it comes back to because I had the courage to be vulnerable, it allowed other people to be vulnerable too. And I never know who's listening, and I never know what they're going to hear. So I keep doing it. When I was asked to present today, I jumped at the chance. I have all these other responsibilities as a board member at Smilecon, but this is, to me, the most important part of the entire conference, and I'm very blessed to be here to share. A few days after the Ironman finished, the Ironman wasn't the highlight of that week for me. Sorry, I got to grab something out of my pocket here. A few days later, I went to a recovery meeting, and I picked up this chip. This chip marked 20 years of continuous sobriety, one day at a time. And so I'm going to pass that out to the audience there, and just want to thank you all for allowing me as a profession to continue as a dentist, for allowing me the opportunity to become the best I can be, and to finally say that when we struggle, have the courage to ask for help. Help is available. We don't have to suffer alone. Thank you.